Okay, grab another one. Okay, softball, what do you think? Pretty good size mass? Yeah? Okay,
Yeah.
sink or float, what do you think?
I think it's going to float.
Think it's going to float, okay? Let's put it in there and see. And actually it does float. So if I was to ask you, without making any measurements, knowing the density of water is 1 gram per milliliter, would you think that the density of that softball is greater or less than 1 gram per milliliter?
Greater or less?
Greater or less. Is this density of this softball going to be bigger than 1 gram per milliliter or less than 1 gram per milliliter? Because it is floating, so it would probably be less than 1 gram per milliliter. And if we could go out and figure out, and we could do that mathematically, determine the mass and volume and determine the density. Okay, the next one, what is that there? Shot put, okay, made out of steel or a component of different combined metals there. So pretty heavy?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty heavy. So do you think sink or float?
I think it's going to sink.
I think it's going to sink. Okay, very carefully, if you would, set that in the tank. Let's see what happens here. Okay, I appreciate you not dropping it in and cracking my tank and putting water all over the floor. So it definitely does sink. So in this case, without making any measurements on this shot put, this steel ball, do you think it would sink, or do you think the density is greater or less than that of water?
Greater.
Greater than. Okay, very good. Let's try the last one here. The bowling ball. Pretty heavy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 10 pounds is the weight on that bowling ball. Okay, so would you say it's got a pretty good size mass?
Yeah.
Okay, sink or float?
I think it's actually going to sink.
You think it's going to sink? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and put it in the tank here and see what happens. Carefully. And would you believe that bowling ball is going to float? Now, it's got a pretty good mass, you said, but what have we not considered yet? The second characteristic, and that's right, the volume.